All right, guys, welcome back. So I said let's chisel plow. Yeah, I want to try to chisel plow that spot we cut a couple of weeks ago, two or three videos ago with the ground that I haven't planted corn in a long time. I want to try to loosen it up a little more. Some of this rain we've been getting, get it down in there, get that soil with some moisture. So when we drop that plow in there, you know, we can plow the full 16-inch and get it plowed good and deep. So we need to go over and do that today. The end closest to the barn, I may, and I'm gonna take it over there with me. And I hope I got enough fuel in the tractor. I ain't even checked the fuel. I may take the subsoiler over there and run across the end of that field. And guys, I don't see my subsoiler. Somebody was probably screaming on the video, "You just walked past it! Turn around!" We found it. So anyway, I may go across that end a couple of times with that because it is hard on that end next to the barn. And then we'll hook up to the chisel plow. But while I'm doing this, I think I did this about 2 years ago, and we got a lot of new subscribers since then. And thank you for you guys that's been around. And y'all just bear with me if you've seen this before. But I thought I'd show you what equipment I do have with the 140. This is a IH subsoiler here. And of course, I made this rack to go on the back. It's my quote-unquote carry-all. I can put it on a truck too, but I can also put it on the back because if you guys watched, I do have a receiver hitch made got grease all on my hands, guys. A receiver hitch made for that. And we have the planter, which I'm sure you guys, most of you have seen the planter. And we have the various implements as far as cultivating. Most of you have seen that. But when we get over to the other side of the barn, or get over here, I'll show you some of the other implements we got, and some you may not see as often, and just show you that. And then of course we'll chisel plow too. Official IH fuel gauge, 1/2 inch on the hammer. Oh yeah, that much on that hammer, I'll cultivate 2 acres with it. I say that, I don't know, but I do know it's enough to do what I got to do. Meet me over. Alright guys, it wasn't going that deep, not because of the plow as much as it was. I'll show you. I do some things that come around here, Will, that y'all may or may not see on camera. I put this little spacer in here when I'm using my disc a lot to help give me some length on raising it up. And you know, they have some stuff you can put up here, but I just like using that. So to get that thing to go in the ground correctly, I need to back off on this nut to here, take his spacer out, and it'll drop a whole lot lower. And I'll do that when I hook up to the plow, I'll do that. I just hadn't made that switch yet right here. But we'll start down here before we chisel plow a little bit. And again, guys, what I'm trying to do here, it rained a couple inches the other day. It's got a little moisture in here. We're just trying to run through here, maybe flip that one upside down, maybe to flip this one upside down, just kind of loosen it up again one more time before we plow it. And I'm going to plow this flipping this way, and I'm going to plow it all one way, just straight downhill, and I'm just flip the whole thing this way, and next year I'll flip the whole thing the other way, and it'll help keep it leveled out and keep it from doming up. And besides, it's kind of low right here, so it wouldn't hurt to flip it this way this year. So the first thing I got, and this is actually new to me, and I don't know what model it is. When I bought the bush hog last year, I think I gave $250, $300. I don't remember. It wasn't that much. See, he called me up and he said, I'll bring it out to your house. I said, that sounds great. And he said, hey, you want that plow? I said, well, how much? And he said, $50. I said, well, I mean, for $50, I'd hate for you to carry it to the metal place. But it's a nice little plow. The only thing I don't like is it's got good points on it, but it's got those points where it's separate from the share. It's got, you know, good points, but it would be a good plow backup if I needed something. We have a coal packer here that this is actually Rogers. It's a coal packer that we can use. I hadn't used it that much, but I can use it like if I wanted to have coal pack those greens in. I didn't, because I really just didn't think that, and they did come up good, and you guys seen from the last video, they've grown a lot since the last video. And then of course we got the little bog hare that my grandpa bought with the Super A, and I got it and rebuilt it and put all new bolts in it and disc and axles, and of course you guys know the weights that I put on that. I call this my finishing hare. I think I had some questions about why did I chisel plow so much, because I let that chisel plow dig deep and loosen up the soil. And I say deep for a 140. And guys, when I say stuff like that, I know I'm talking about my 140. I'm not, you know, talking about a, you know, 1466 International. It's not deep for it, but for my 140, it's pretty deep. And then I come back with this, and she, you know, slickens off the top good, maybe about that deep down into the soil. It, you know, and it just levels it out good for the plant or the bed with. And again, I call this my little chisel plow. You might could refer to it as a spring tooth. It is springs, but it's on a toolbar, has gauges wheels on it, and yes, those gauge wheels do come in important, because if it gets past them, it doesn't want to pull it good. You've seen the subsoiler, guys, and we ran that, and I do think it made a difference on that last corn I planted this year. We ran it in front of bedding the rolls up, and I'm probably going to do that again if I can't water the corn. This I'll be able to water, so I may not run it in this. I might, I don't know. And then of course the plow, and if you guys, if you've noticed, you haven't heard me say particular numbers, because I know I got a manual for that disc over there, that leveling disc, but I want to say F45, but I could be wrong, so I didn't want to say. And I do know this is a 214 plow, I'm pretty sure. This plow we like. It's a good plow. It is a load on that tractor. If you got both of these plows that deep in the ground, it's a pretty good load on that tractor. This is a little piece I'd originally got for a, what I call a potato digger. And it needs to come back on that wood there. And it does dig potatoes good. I actually, you can see these marks here, guys. I actually had a set of gauge wheels on it, and my thinking was that those wheels would keep it in the center of the roll when I was rolling out the potatoes. But what was happening, a few potatoes would roll in front of the wheel, and the wheel would run over the potato, so we had to take them off. It does real good. You just have to watch it, because it can go down deep pretty quick if you're not careful. But I think these were originally furrow plows. They wasn't potato plows. They were furrow plows, and they may have been made to kind of lay by rolls where it threw it up on the roll. You know, you guys see me lay it by. This I love, a 140 16-inch plow. It actually has a tag on it, so I can cheat on this one, a 194. So that's a 194 one roll 16-inch plow. I'd just soon pull that all day long, because I can pull it literally to the bar right there, and it doesn't put a lot of strain on that tractor, and it'll pull it in, you know, heavy soil, hard soil. She'll pull it. I really enjoyed that. I don't know if any of you guys have seen one of these, but this is a little scoop pan made for a fast hitch farm all. And you know, it carries a good wheelbarrow full of dirt. I have made trenches with it. It does work. I do have to do some welding to this little latching mechanism here. It's not latching back, and I just hadn't took the chance to do it. And I may, you know, we may work on some of that this year and latch it. And over here, which under the tree limbs, and I swear when I parked it, it wasn't like this, is a fast hitch scrape blade. I don't use it a ton. If the snow gets deep enough, might use it a little bit then, but I don't use it a real lot. And I'm sure you guys have seen around the corner of the shed a few times, you've seen the Holland transplanter. I do hope to get that back in service next year, but if I do, it's going to have to be an electric fence or one of those security alarm things. I do want to plant some sweet potatoes. I have planted, you know, I think one time I planted this corn garden maybe 10 years ago in sweet potatoes. That sounds right, don't it, Will? I think I had sweet potatoes in here, and I mean, they were big. Man, some of them things were like just crazy big, but I'd like to do that again. But the deer, you know, we beat them this year on the beans. Hopefully we can do something to beat them next year. We'll do that, and maybe even an electric fence. So with that said, let's do a little chisel plow and see how it acts. I fully expect this end right up in here not to really mix up as good as this end down here. And guys, it may be a little heavy in the center there. If it is, we're gonna stop. The one thing I don't like doing is I don't like messing in dirt that's not in, well, I say I don't like it. I have pushed it on sandy soil if it's a little heavy, but it wouldn't be no need to pushing it today if it's a little heavy. I don't think it is, but if it is in that spot, we'll go to the short rolls. But it may be a little heavy right over there, and that you can harden some soil up real quick. All right, I figured I'd stop a second. Tell all y'all thank you again for watching. And I don't think I've had a chance, or I didn't think about it the last video, to be honest with you. I probably was in a hurry on, yeah, it was raining. That's what it was when we was talking about Plow Day. I appreciate all the kind comments about singing, and that was just an ideal that I had, but I wasn't sure that I could do about the monetization. But somebody that's a whole lot bigger channel than me told me not to worry about that as long as I'm singing it. And it is thundering. I said, well, we better stop now and tell everybody thank you and stuff before we get chased out of the field. But we'll finish cultivating it out, and like you guys already know, I'll probably try to add some nice music to it and see it chisel plowing. But just thank you so much for everything. Thank you for all the subscribers and comments. I don't sing a lot in church, maybe once or twice a month. And I told Will, you know, whenever I maybe do a special something, maybe come up there and film it. And you know, so every so often, that'll be, I don't want to use the word blackmail. I'll hold that over top of y'all's guys that, so make you watch it to the end, because you never know which video it'll have it on there. So, no, I wouldn't do that to you, but I will just add it to various videos, but when I do that. So, you know, everybody has what they feel like good days and bad days on singing, playing basketball, or whatever they may do. And that's the way it is sometimes, and sometimes it may be pretty good and sometimes it may be not so good. But hey, we're doing it for the Lord. We're not doing it to go to Nashville or nothing. But thank you again. And y'all hear that? She's popping good. So we're gonna cut this one off here, finish it out, put a little music to it. Thank you. I'm going to go to the Outer Banks. If I might try to film some, I don't know. Will's not going to be with me, so I may or may not. But if we don't, you know, we got some corn to cut. I want to cut them corn rolls bad, so hopefully we'll get to cut them corn rolls in the next couple of days, because I want to see how that bush hog, you know, chomped it up, if it cuts it up better, and kind of go like that. Thank you guys. God bless you. God loves you. We'll see you.